Dear students, my name is Dr. Srinivas Goli. I am a faculty of Population Studies at Jawaharlal Nehru University. Under MHRD E-Pathashala program, I am dealing a paper on population structure. Under this paper, today we deal on three concepts, that is Gender Development Index, Gender Empowerment Index and Gender Inequality Index. And these three concepts are considered as a summary measures of measuring, monitoring the progress in gender development and especially the women's empowerment and women's development. Development is a continuous phenomena and always happening with shift in paradigm. Development is a multidimensional concept. The more indicators used to measure, more accurate result it came. Earlier development is a measure by using traditional concept in terms of high economic growth rate, that is GDP and GNP. But over the period, the development definition has become broader, which is also now includes the concept of equity, where we consider the gender equity as one of the parameter of gender development. Thus, the UN has proposed the Human Development Index, but over the period with the criticism from the feminists that human development is not considered, how the developmental parameters are paired for male and female, whether the fruits of the development are reaching to men and women in similar way. With the passing of time, the UN developed a composite index which came to existence to measure the multidimensional concept of development. The Human Development came to existence in 1980s and published in Human Development Report. In 1995, an index was developed to measure gender inequality. Concept of Gender Development Index is used to measure gender inequality with calculating GDI for male and female separately and see the gap in the human development performance between the male and female, which is considered as a Gender Development Index. The concept was also first introduced in Human Development Report published in 1995. The dimensions and indicators of the Human Development Index are health, education and standard. In health, we consider life expectancy. In education, we consider literacy rate and mean years of school of the 15 plus years age group population, and standard of living is based on per capita income. Appropriate weight is given to their indicators in dimensions. This is calculated for both male and female compared. If you look at this schematic diagram, it shows how we compute the Gender Development Index. In the first dimension, a long and healthy life, female life expectancy and male life expectancy we calculated. Then we have seen the difference between female life expectancy index and male life expectancy index. So, in the dimension indices, we convert these female life expectancy, male expectancy with the dimension-free indices. And we have seen in these two dimension-free indices, we equally distribute whether the dimension in these two dimension-free indices, we see the gap between the two components, like the male life expectancy index and female life expectancy index. Then the next dimension is the knowledge. In the knowledge dimension, we consider female adult literacy rate, female gross enrollment rate and male adult literacy rate and male gross enrollment. Again, we consider by using, we want to convert these four indicators, we convert them into two dimension-free indexes, that is female education index and male education index. We make them into dimension-free. I will tell you how we will make the dimension-free in the next coming slide. But let's look at the concept first. Then after calculating female education index and male education, we will see how the difference between the female education index and male education index. The same way we have seen the decent standard of living dimension. In decent standard of living dimension, we calculate female estimated earned income and male estimated earning. Again, this will be converted into the dimension-free measures, that is called female income index and male income index. Then we see the difference between the two. Then overall, after estimating the difference in differential performance in all three dimensions, in health, education and income, we will combine these three indices with by taking a geometric mean of these three indices in the three gaps which we get in the across the indicators. Then we calculate gender related development index. So now the question is on how to calculate the dimension free index. That we go by step. First, to calculate the GDI, we calculate first to calculate the GDI. The HDI is calculated separately for males and females using the same methodology as HDI. The same goalpost as the HDI are used for transforming the indicators into a scale lying between 0 and 1. The only exception in life expectancy at birth, where the goalposts are adjusted for average of 5 years biological advantages that women have over men. The value of these indicators is normalized to make it in range between 0 to 1. The maximum minimum value described in module is used for different indicator for normalization. Different weight is assigned to dimension wise and GDI is calculated. The GDI score cannot be used independently from HDI. The gap between HDI and GDI is considered. Countries are grouped into 5 groups based on the absolute deviation from gender parity in the HDI values. The 5 groups of gender development index. Group 1 comprises countries with high equality in HDI achievements between women and men, absolute deviation of less than 2.5%. Group 2 comprises the countries with a medium to high equality in HDI achievements between women and men, absolute deviations between 2.5 to 5%. In a group 3 comprises the countries with medium equality in HDI achievement between women and men, absolute deviations of 5 to 7.5%. In the group 4 comprises countries with medium to low quality in HDI achievements between women and men, absolute deviation of 7.5% to 10%. Group 5 comprises countries with low equality in HDI achievements between women and men, absolute deviation of gender parity of more than 10%. In India, if you look at the India's in the context of global context, the India's position is slightly better in the overall human development index compared to, although India ranks low at the human development index compared to the world countries, which is it is ranking at 131 out of 188 countries. But if you look at its GDI's value, it becomes more worse. It stands in the 5th group, lies in the 5th group, which is considered to be highest gender inequality index, which is considered to be one of the country with the highest poorest gender development values. Then what are the policy relevance of GDI? Let's consider what is the policy relevance of GDI. The GDI provides insight into gender disparities in achievement in these basic responsibilities: health, education, command over economic resources. It helps further understanding of the real gender gap in human development achievements and useful for navigating policies to close the gap. GDI insights gender disparities, which act as a tool for reallocating resources for program. This measures the condition of women in all the 3 dimensions of index. It helps to understand how much women are lagging behind their male counterpart and navigate policies to close the gap to catch up with the dimensions of human development. However, there are a lot of criticism in GDI because it is failed to consider some of the gender sensitive indicators which does not count into the particularly which indicators which discriminate women at the qualitative level. For example, if you look at the sex ratio, the relationship between the GDI, Gender Development Index, and sex ratio, we hardly find any relationship. That means, although the states are ranked high in terms of gender development index, we find poor sex ratios. For example, in India, if you look at the Haryana and Punjab, which have better gender development indexes, but if you see the other hand, the sex ratio in these states, it is worse. At the same time, there are a number of other indicators like the women autonomy, which is important at the qualitative level, which is not part of any of these gender development measures. So there are mostly these indicators or gender development indicators often an outcome of a policy or a state-led programs rather than an absolute emancipation of women's status, like or increasing our agency and autonomy. So next we will deal about the gender empowerment measure. Gender development measures. Gender development measures are important for gender planning and gender analysis. Gender development measures are important for gender analysis and planning, particularly to bring equal share of assets and equal dignity and integrity between men and women. How to plan for bringing this? Therefore, the United Nations Organization and UN Women, as a part of measuring and monitoring different countries' progress in terms of human development, they have also initiated the process of measuring the Gender Development Index and Gender Empowerment Index and Gender Inequality Index. In initial days, especially when they have started initiating of producing the human development reports, they received a widespread criticism of the HDI measure, which is not taking the gender sensitive indexes in gender sensitive measures into consideration, and especially the gender dimension is missing from the human development reports. By taking this into consideration, in the 1995 they started also giving the Gender Development Index and Gender Empowerment Index. Especially these measures are adjusting gender gaps at different levels of achievement. We know that the human development measure basically came as a critique of the so-called the development indicators which measured based on the income and wealth. The economists who are working on the different measures of the development, especially for example, if you take the Nobel laureate like Amartya Sen, Mahbub Haq and other people who have come up with a criticism of the existing development measures like income and wealth. They realized that wealth is evidently not a good measure of the human development and human potential. Realization of human potential is very important. Particularly, Amartya Sen's calls for capabilities and functioning approach. Not only it is important to achieve more functionings, but also essential for people to have a capabilities or freedom of their choice to achieve this. The emphasis on growth was based on assumption that its benefits will automatically trickle down to poor and marginal, but that has not happened. Therefore, their more broader approach of development, especially humanistic approach of development, is very important. In this sense, the people are educated for the measuring human development index with the multiple indicators with the multiple dimensions. The global human development report has created a three set of indicators initially. the Human Development Index, Human Poverty Index, but with the subsequent suggestion to include gender sensitive index, they have also started producing GDI and GM, that is Gender Related Development Index and Gender Empowerment Measure. Especially if you look at the debate between the growth versus development, economic might be one of the aspects of economic development, but not the same. Economic growth, a measure of value of output of goods and services within the same time, but economic development is a measure of welfare of human society. But these two concepts will not consider all the dimensions of development, and go with an economic development and economic growth, it does not give guarantee that there is a improvement in other dimensions of development like health and education. Therefore, there is a strong need for the initiation of a human development measure, a multidimensional measure. The index was developed in 1990 by Pakistani economist Mahbub Haq and Sir Richard Joly with help of Gustav Ranis and from LA University and Lord Meghnad Desai of the London School of Economics. This measure has initially took 3 dimensions into consideration, but that is the life expectancy, that is health dimension, literacy, education dimension, and standard of living. Then subsequently the gender development index are measured in these 3 dimensions with taking the gaps in the HDI between the males and females in all 3 dimensions. The limitations of GDI. GDI is not a comprehensive measure of human development. It only focuses on 3 dimensions of capabilities. GDI is not designed to assess the program in human development over short time period, because 2 of its component indicators, adult literacy and life expectancy at birth, are not respond to short-term policy changes. Like average country measure, the GDI does not account for variation in human development within the country. The countries with the same HDI may be very different in how human development is distributed, either from region or region to region, from social group to social group. This particular, then the next the measure is gender empowerment measure. Gender empowerment measure also takes into consideration 3 dimensions. The first dimension is the political participation and decision making power, which includes share of parliamentary seats elected by male female, share of seats in legislature elected by male female, share of seats in Jilla Parishad elected, share of the seats in Gram Panchayat by male and female, the candidates in the electoral process and national parties, the electors existing in the right to vote. Then second dimension is economic participation and decision making power. The share of officials in services in Indian Administrative Service and Indian Police Service and Indian Forest Service, and share of enrollment in medical and engineering colleges. The dimension of power and economic resources, like share of operational landholding, females and holding bank accounts and scheduled commercial banks. That is the female holding the bank accounts, the female estimated earned income and share of per capita annum, females estimated earned income and their share of per capita income. These measures, by using these 3 indicators, again we construct in each dimension we construct a political participation index by making all these indicators in dimension free, by bringing the values to 0, 1, and goalposts are decided based on the contextually based on the rationales for each indicator. Then we make all these dimension free indexes with taking a geometric mean for each dimension. We make a dimension indexes, that is political participation index and economic participation index and power or economic resource index. Later again we convert these 3 dimension index into a summary measure called a gender empowerment measure by assigning appropriate weights or taking a geometric mean.